Hi everybody, it's Kimberly here. Thank y'all for coming to my channel. I have my glasses on because I'm going to read something because, I have no memory. The Doordash has decided to go public, so they're going to have their IPO, the initial public offering. The Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, is going to, they've just filed it on Friday, so there's no set date on when the date is. There's no stock date yet. So, but it's going to be filed under the ticker symbol, the stock symbol that you look it up. It's usually an abbreviation. If for anybody who's never bought stock, they shorten just a little snippet of usually the company name or make up a name or something. It's usually like a 3-4 letter. Sometimes I think I've seen some that are 5 letters. I don't know. It's usually real short, but it's going to be Dash, D-A-S-H. And the company has done incredible business because of the surge of the pandemic and everything. And I think I was reading something about 1.9 billion revenue, which that I did see other figures, which I think that's really quite a bit, a really good surge, especially for a company during a time like this. But this is one of the companies that profited off of, what's happening right now. And I wouldn't say that's bad because, people do need food delivered and groceries and things like that. So there are some businesses that are legitimately helping out in the pandemic that are, really serving a good purpose. And being a driver from them, I did deliver to some people that had COVID that were housebound, and it's unfortunate, they couldn't even get out. They had to have things delivered. They had to have, Walmart deliveries for groceries, food deliveries, and so I think that, these companies that are doing this, that's a necessity, especially during this time. So they did actually serve a really good purpose, and they did. Well, there is an issue with how they were keeping the driver tips before, but that has been resolved, and which is a absolutely disgusting thing for any company to do. Anytime an employee gets a tip, it belongs to the employee, not the company. But they have rectified that, and their pay scale, they remodeled their pay scale, and actually that happened before I started driving, so it had already been cleared up before I started driving. And I haven't driven for them for a couple of months at least, but I think I'm still an employee. I've been getting the emails, and I think I just did the terms and service this morning. But the looming possible lockdown that might be coming might surge the price of the stock up. There's been no estimation of the stock price. I don't even know. I mean, I'm not any kind of stock expert or advisor. I do buy stocks on Robinhood, which I think is one of the best beginning apps that you can be on. You can buy one share, 100 or 1,000. It's one of the best ways to learn the stock market. It's very simple, very easy, and I'm not being paid for this or anything. I have no endorsement. I mean, I'm not endorsing them, but it's the one I personally use. I use 2 of them. I use Webull and Robinhood, but Robinhood is so easy and so user-friendly, and it's aesthetically to the eye. It's really easy to look at and really easy to navigate. And for a person who's never invested on the stock market, I would suggest using that platform first. And if you want to graduate to the others, they get a little bit more intricate, I guess you could say. But I don't think I'm going to buy any of the stock. Well, actually, I think since I'm not an employee, but I'm a contract driver, I have to look over and see what what I'm allowed to do, because sometimes when you work for a company, there's regulations and stuff like that with buying IPOs and stuff, or owning company stock, so I have to look that up and see. I mean, I don't really think, because I know that the IPO is going to be a process. I usually buy like the penny stocks or the very cheap little stocks. And I've done okay with that and not hit anything big, but I haven't really invested in a whole lot. But it's something I'm going to continue to do in the future. And I would say that for anybody who wants to retire early, or if you want to build on your future, invest in something, even if it's not stocks. You know, you can put your money into bonds or even real estate, or any kind of business venture, or something that you have a little path of knowledge about. And because it's going to be so hard just to work your way through life and work your way all the way to retirement. That's probably the hardest route to go in life. So I really believe in getting your future a little bit more cemented with some kind of investment or something, some way to make money out of money, you know. So the pandemic really pushed this company up because of, you know, what it does. People are housebound and they have to, you know, find some way to get food, or if they don't want to go out, if they're sick, if they're contagious, you know, they use these kind of delivery services. And it has really escalated the company's profits. I think it probably saved the company in a way, you know. But there is a little bit of future controversy, I guess you'd call it, about the autonomous deliveries with like mechanical robots or using drones. You know, they've already experimented with some of them, but I don't think in reality that's going to work, because I think the little machines are going to get ran over. People are going to mess with them. I mean, they rob stores. They do, you know, if you have a steaming hot pizza in one of those little robots and it's roaming around the streets, somebody's going to knock it over, you know. You know, I just think it's a little bit too, I don't know. I wouldn't trust it, you know. I mean, it's a good idea maybe in a small area. I just can't see the obstacles. In the area I live in, it just would not work. You know, it just wouldn't work. Because the obstacles of navigating the streets and everything like that, I think it's just too, I'm talking about the little robots that I've seen that they've been experimenting with. And I mean, not the Doordash company, but other companies, I think, have been, I think it was Amazon that was trying to experiment with this little robot. I don't know. And in other countries too. I think in Japan they actually are doing some of the little robot deliveries. But I think that's more to like apartment buildings and closer, just encapsulated little areas where it can navigate the streets or the sidewalks or something like that. But for the drone deliveries, that might actually work, you know. I think for some smaller companies, the drone, if they get the FFA regulations all worked out with companies that want to do this, I think it might actually work, you know. But that also puts a possibility of people losing their jobs being delivery drivers. But I don't see that going widespread, and even if it did, it would be, I think, pretty far in the future. I don't think that it's going to take away a lot of jobs as far as, I just don't, especially maybe around certain areas of the country, you know, where it's not really, I don't know. I think it also has to have a level of acceptance of trust, you know, from your customers. Is this going to work, you know? Is it going to drop my pizza in somebody's backyard or what, you know? So I think they're still kind of, I mean, they are still experimenting with that. They've gotten trial runs, and some of them have been really good and worked out, but, you know, there's just that possibility. If this does, you know, take off, then, you know, it may lessen the numbers of delivery drivers for DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever, all the other companies that deliver. I don't see them doing it with Walmart because a lot of those deliveries have, too much product, and that's just not going to work. You're always going to have a driver to deliver, or a vehicle that can. I have a Yukon, and some of my deliveries had like 15 or 20 bags, and I'd have to take 2 deliveries at the same time sometimes, so I'd be like having 30, 35 bags in the back of my car with cases of Cokes and cases of water. People buy cases of water like you wouldn't believe. So, that's not going to work with, Walmart or other, not just Walmart. I think there's other stores that are doing delivery too, other grocery stores, like that. So that's not going to work. But the IPO was filed on Friday. I don't have any. I've been looking for a stock price or a estimation of it, or even the date of the offering hasn't been decided, so it could be a while away. But I'm surprised they didn't go public before, because they've been doing really good in this pandemic, and Grubhub has already gone public. They merged with, I don't remember the name of the other company they merged with. I think it was I want to say foreign company. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I don't remember. They merged with some other company, so they already went public. But for anybody that doesn't know the stock market, if you're like a beginning investor or a young person just getting out of high school, or going to college, thinking about that, think about investing, because there's moments in my life when, if I would have invested, even when I thought about it, I regret it. I regret so much, because I did have opportunities to do that, and I was just too hesitant and I didn't quite know enough, so I just kind of blew it off. And in the city I grew up in, there was a street that was being developed, and it was a street that was kind of at the edge of the progressive part of town, where they were building more and more businesses and building nicer, richer houses and a much higher tax bracket, And at the end of this street, it was like a couple miles down the street. It was a dirt road at one point, or the street was paved in the part. It was one long street that went from one side of the city to the other side. And the initial part was paved, that had been there for years, and then there was the end part that was where it was progressing outward. The city was growing outward a little bit, and there was another small town directly under the underpass, and it was like a little thought that people were like, oh, it's gonna be connected to the city, in a few years. So many businesses were growing and popping up out there. And I had an opportunity to buy a couple of acres for $1,000 an acre. I went out there and looked at it with the guy and talked to him, and he was saying, well, I just can't afford the taxes on it, and that kind of scared me, and he's going, yeah, it's going to go up, and it'll grow up in value. And I had the money, but I didn't do it, and that land is worth about $100,000 an acre now. So yeah, I kick myself when I think about that, But $1,000, for me, almost 35, almost, I was about 18 or 19 when I had this opportunity. And I had $2,000 saved up from working 2 jobs, and I just couldn't see spending that much money. That was a lot of money back then, and I'm a really good saver when I'm able to get the money to save, and I just didn't do it, and I just couldn't see. I was a little, it was the first big transaction, other than buying a car, that I, thought about. Oh, I just, I couldn't let go of that money, but, I regret it to this day. And I drive down that street a lot, and I see, these huge businesses on that land that I could have sold, for, a decent profit, and I didn't do it, But now I'm a little bit more aware of, I try to, check out all kinds of investment opportunities, or things that, you know, in my future. And I really do a lot with the stocks and cryptocurrency. Those are the main things. I would like to own a business. I've always wanted to own a small restaurant, but, you know, in this time period, you know, things are going to have to, I don't know what the future is going to be, you know. Things are changing now because of what is happening. So either we have to get through this and, you know, see what the changes are. You know, I don't know what's going to happen, but okay, I just wanted to bring that up for the DoorDash. I just heard about it this morning, and anybody who is interested in that, I just thought that was kind of interesting. So I don't know when the date is. I've been looking all over. I looked for the last hour. I've been checking, trying to find a date or something, but it hasn't been established. So that'll have to be in the future, and I'll probably do a little video when they determine the date and the stock price. Okay, thank you for coming to my channel, and like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.